show off right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause
It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight.
let's get the topic straight, let's get things good, let's do everything that we should.
It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right.
Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight.
It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show.
Alright guys, what's going on? This is your boy Take for Project Open Mic. I hope you guys are doing well once again. It's Thursday night, you know what it is, Project Open Mic, where we talk about various topics, and I hope you guys are doing, like I said, doing well. Put my lovely mug on the screen. There we go. Alright. Anyway, so again, thank you guys for I didn't got enough people last week's show, but again, remember, check out episode 109. And I want to thank all the people who really join in tonight and is helping basically spread the word. Remember, I want to give a shout out to everybody who's joining in from all across the platforms. Of course, I want to give a platforms to if you're watching this on YouTube, you can watch this on YouTube, subscribe, share the content. We're also on Facebook, of course, we're on Facebook. We're also on Twitch TV. We also on YouNow, YouLive, across the world, Nico, Stitcher, Anchor, and of course, Spotify. Hope you guys are doing well. Again, remember, there's different platforms we're on. Join in and join in the conversation and talk about stuff. That's what the whole point's about. So, Project Open Mic is, again, for those who know, is a topical show. We talk about stuff. Yes, there's things about politics, like I said before, but the culture is downstream from politics, and you're gonna see once again. I always show that I ain't got my sound effect, but I always bring my receipts. People know I always bring my receipts, so you should know that how I do this thing. So, with that said, tonight we're gonna be talking about tonight's episode is episode 110, where we are talking about. Make sure I got my on my list up and going. So we're talking about basically what people don't see will hurt them, because a lot of times people say, oh, what they don't see won't hurt them. Well, that is the kind of thing that the media and the government and evil people wants to happen, so people won't know what's going on in their day-to-day lives. And you gotta watch it, because they sneak a lot of stuff by you and it hurts you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When you are talking about major politics and stuff like that, the local politics is the one we're hurting. So tonight we're gonna be talking about ending of affirmative action. We're gonna talk about some, again, funny. I know we talk about the mass shootings when it comes to a certain group. You gotta talk about that, because that's a reality. Also, the rules for the not for me kind of situation. The submarine, I'll touch on that on a little bit, because I didn't went crazy with it, because, well, I'll get into that. And of course, I'm gonna talk a little bit about I'm in North Carolina, where our governor, who's a Democrat, is talking some crazy mess and everything like that. So we're gonna get into this stuff tonight. Okay. So last week I talked about Juneteenth and Pride Month at its end. And again, I am a person. I don't, like I said, I want everybody to be happy. I don't, you do your thing. As long as you're hurting nobody, you ain't messing with the children, with all stuff. That's all cool, understandable. But I don't have no problem against you. Want to live your life, live your life. You can be judged the way you want to be judged when the time comes. It's not for me to live to say whatever. As long as again you're not hurting nobody and you're not doing irreparable damage. And you're gonna see what I'm talking about that in a moment. Irreparable damage in certain things. Okay. Tonight, like I said, we're talking about last week. We're going to be talking about, not the week before, I'm sorry, the week before that, 2 weeks ago, they were talking about the submarine. And my heart goes out for the people who died in the submarine. That's a horrible death to go, implosion. It is not fun. It also shows you that just because you're billionaire doesn't mean that you're smart. Now, again, my hearts and prayers goes out to the people who died. And also, I will say this, too, before I go any further a little bit as well, too. I don't have the, let me check it out here. I'll find it in time. But I want to be respectful. And that's what it is. I want to be respectful. So let me see if I can find it quickly on my phone. I apologize. Guys. I thought I had a thing, but it looked like it wasn't. So let me go and see if we can find it. That is... I'm going to pause it for a second. I just want to...
Injured. He was rushed to a nearby hospital.
Okay. I'll go play the audio from my phone. So, Detective Dilbert Phipps Jr., I want to give a personal shout out to this man. I know who he is. He was a classmate. Again, graduated older than me. But I want to talk about this situation again. And remember, we talk about Black Lives Matter and all this stuff that people talk about, and you're gonna see where I'm gonna go with this. So I want to play a video of this. But my heart goes out to his family, his family, and also the police crew, because again, people always look at it so stupid, like, oh, Black Lives Matter, cops is this, whatever. There are black cops, Asian cops, white cops. And like I always say at the end of my video, evil comes in all shapes, size, color, creed. They're bad cops, they're good cops. They're bad black people, they're good black people. They're bad Asian, they're bad. It keeps on going. And I don't understand why we always like to get caught up in just one race thing. It annoys the heck out of me. But I'm going to play this. It should pick up on the microphone. But my heart goes out to his family, and like I said, he was a classmate of mine. So, and again, this is what you're gonna see talking about the crimes and stuff. This is what I'm talking about. That is so messed up. That we are letting criminals back on the street. No, you do a heinous act, you sit your punk butt in jail for. If you do something heinous, stay in jail. I don't care what that. Oh, he's a black man. I don't care. You did horrible stuff. But anyway, let's go in. I'll play the clip and you see hear it.
Virgin Islands Police Department. On Tuesday, July 4th, he was shot and killed in the line of duty. The shooter was out on bail for first-degree murder after already shooting and killing another individual back in February. Detective Phipps and other officers responded to a 911 call reporting a man wearing a bulletproof vest and holding a rifle. As officers arrived on scene, the shooter instantly began firing, with officers returning fire. During the engagement, Detective Phipps was shot and seriously injured. He was rushed to a nearby hospital, where unfortunately he succumbed to his wounds. The shooter was also shot, but survived. On him, they found the bulletproof vest, rifle, handgun, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. I truly believe that Detective Phipps and his partners are heroes because they stopped what was soon to be a mass shooting incident. Delbert had served with the Virgin Islands Police Department for 7 years and was only 42 years old. He's survived by his family, friends, and department. Let's spread this hero's face far and wide.
I know it can't be that great, but that's who he is. And that is sad. And then see, is a black man, of course. There was a black man that killed him too, and we're gonna cause mass crap down in the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is ridiculous. He was in there for first-degree murder. Why did we let him out? Why? That's the stuff that, you don't hear nothing. It goes to tonight's show. What people don't see will hurt them. And that right there is a problem. That he could have gone and killed multiple people. And we're going to be talking about some mass shootings tonight that nobody wants to talk about, of course, because it's a hush-hush. We don't want to stay on certain things. I don't like that. I really do not like that. It irks me much. People always talk about, we got to protect this and this and that. Yeah, okay, I got it, protect. But we don't do it. We talk the talk, but we don't walk the walk. Seriously. So, with that said, getting back to the submarine. Like I said, sorry for those people that got my condolences go out to the family and friends of those people who passed away. And I'm gonna say something that might be triggering, and I gotta say, which is this. This is it's like I said, it's trigger warning. I am not happy that a person died. Never will I be happy a person died in a horrible way. Okay? That part I am not with. But I will say that the person who made this submarine, which was a mishmash of crap, and remembering that he passed away with the crew, because we know the media and everybody will use this point to belittle a lot of more stuff and do stupid stuff and sue whoever you go sue, because he passed away with the people. So yes, he was down there. He got his justice, and these fools follow him down there. They was led to their deaths. There was multiple things that people told him this should not be wrong. He didn't want to hire a white submarine man because it's not inspiring to other people, which is the most dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because they're not inspiring to black kids and whatever. And I do not like that. I understand it, but I don't like it. And I'll be honest with you. I'll give you an example. I have respect for somebody named Mike Rowe. He did dirty jobs. He's a white man. I respect for him. Why? Because I see what he does. He put that work in there. I have respect for Shigeru Miyamoto. He's an Asian guy. He's a Japanese. Why? Because he makes some beloved things that I like, and he's not a black person. And I love Mario, Star Fox, all that stuff, Gunpei Yokoi, Metroid. Like, I don't need a black person to inspire me, but I understand why it is for younger kids to see, hey, that's the point. And with that, we talk about affirmative action. But the thing about it, the media and the people up in the high ups, your Jay-Z's, your big, the people up there, Oprahs and all that stuff, people don't understand, they act as gatekeepers. Steve Harvey, all the people, Daryl Hughley, I never understand it when they were like, white supremacists, black people can't do this, whatever. But you're rich. You have a syndicated talk show. You got millions of dollars. But the country is still holding you back. The first millionaire woman was a black woman, C.J. Walker. That mentality is what's hurting black Americans. The Asian community ain't doing that. They saying, hey, let's do this, do that. I'm not going to do it tonight, but Vivek Swamy he's third behind DeSantis and Trump on the Republican Party part. But Vivek Swamy did an interview with Breakfast Club, and he made them look like idiots. Straight up morons and fools. And I'm happy he did. And I agree with a lot. I agree like 95% of what he said. I've followed a little bit of him here and there. But this man could inspire to do a lot of stuff. And again, if that's the case that you all want, it's funny again, if that's the case that you want to see black representatives in places and everything like that, one of the things I did not like about President Obama and Michelle Obama, I'll be honest about it because I don't play games. The one thing I did not like, they never talked about how it is. They talked about it a little bit, but then they shut it down quickly. The further and further he progressed in his presidency, which was, he never talked about what he and Michelle went through as being a married couple. You're the first black, you're the first black first woman, and black president. Tell them, hey, kids, be like me and my wife. Be married. Fathers, stay in the home. Women, choose better men. Don't have children out of wedlock. That's what he should have been talking about. But no, President Obama talked about other crap, and I did not like that. Sorry, I voted for the man in 2008, not in 2012, because I saw that he was turning against what was working. Families work. Statistics have showed families work. All right, mother, father, children, unit. Less problems happen. Less degeneracy happens. Less people going to jail happens. And that right there is the cure to help the black families in America. Dude, stop thinking with your D. All right, protect yourself. Wrap it up, as I always say. But again, have D control, because that's what some of y'all get. Y'all get the wrong woman pregnant, and the government got their back to get you in trouble. You're on the hook for the rest of your life and all stuff. Ladies, the same thing. Understand? Yes, the internet is something that confirm a lot of your stuff and crazy, but I still don't like it when I see young black girls having children out of wedlock for the dumbest of things. And again, having children with men that should have never had children with in the first place. And like I said, we are responsible for our choices, women and men, boys or girls. We are responsible for it. But we have seen in this country that nobody wants to take their responsibility of their bad decisions, and that's the part that sucks. So, tonight, like I said, we're gonna be talking about the affirmative action and all the other stuff that needs to be talked about. It needs to be. And why families is needed and good and all this stuff. But that young man, like I said, he's older than me. Like I said, prayers and family goes out to him. And thank you for your service, man. And I'm sorry that this piece of trash person,
you piece of loser,
got let out and caused this much damage to people. Man, we gotta stop letting evil people out in the streets for reconciling, whatever. I understand reciprocity and understand that if you change your ways, but people used to say, "Oh, the 3-strike rules is bad for black men." If you get a first strike, don't do no strike. And again, it kind of makes you feel like black men are stupid that they can't. Some are, but it makes it that you should not. Oh wow, we're gonna give you 3 strikes so you don't mess up your rest of your life. I'm 40 years old. I don't have one. Why? Because I ain't stupid and I ain't do dumb things. That's why. Craziness. So, we're going to get into that. But, again, going back into the submarine imploding, which is a sad thing, like I said before. But you know what's something that's messed up that I didn't like? I've said this before on my show before, and people know I've said this before on my show. I have said that when there's a story that's like captivating the world, I mean the media like that, and it's around holidays, 4th of July, stuff like that, Christmas days, whatever, the government and the media come together in cahoots and sneak out news stories to say, hey, we did talk about it, but they sneak out news stories and stuff so people don't really capture what's going on, and then evil stuff get passed in the dead of night. That's what it does. Government does that specifically. Republicans and Democrats, both parties, they do it. Okay, this is not a party thing. Is that? So while that was happening, we got to talk about when that was happening. The president's son, Biden, his son, basically plead to some crimes where here's a kicker. Black people, famous black people who pleaded to those crimes went to jail, but Hunter ain't got not a dang where. This man has not gone nowhere. He pleaded to it, but he ain't gone to jail. let's just talk about it. This is what I'm saying. This is the craziness, and this was happening when people was doing all the the stuff in that regard. Cause that to me is crazy.
My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, pleading guilty to not one, not two, but three federal offenses, and he is facing 0 jail time as a result. That's right.
0
Big charges, no jail, prison, penitentiary, Gitmo, big rocks, little rocks, none of that.
None of that.
Now, let's get into what he's being charged with and what he's not being charged with. Then we're going to get into an article. Now, he has 2 counts of failure to file a tax return on time, going back to, I think, 2015, 2016, right around that particular time. And the tax liability for those 2 times he failed to file a timely tax return, $1.2 million. Now, have you ever heard about anybody failing to pay $1.2 million in taxes and not going to the penitentiary? Even if you pay it later, you square it up, and it's all good, you will still go to the penitentiary. I've seen plenty of guys, your Fat Joe, Wesley Snipes, a lot of these guys will not pay their taxes or pay it late and then pay in full and still go to the penitentiary. So
thank you.
It must be nice to skip out on those taxes and not go to the penitentiary, even if he paid it later, which I don't know if he did or not. If y'all know if he paid his taxes eventually, y'all please let me know in the comments below.
And also, like I said, other people have done that, paid it back, whatever. They still went to jail. But Hunter don't have to do that.
But those are those 2 charges. Then there's a federal gun charge because, you see, Hunter Biden is and or was a crackhead. And when you're filling out an application, your background check, if you say that you have a drug addiction or prior drug addiction, you will not pass your background check. So in order for him to pass the background check, he lied on the background check. That right there is a federal offense. Now, this is going to be very interesting because don't I hear from the left, people like Joe Biden, the whole administration, all Democrats.
Exactly.
Don't I hear from them that the problem with America and the gun violence is the guns themselves? And what do they say? We need tighter background checks. We need to get rid of the gun show loophole, all this, that, and the third. So if they really believe in tighter background checks, more background checks,
wouldn't Hunter go to
how
jail?
you gonna let this guy get off with no prison time after he lied on the background check to get his gun? And not only did he lie on the background check to get the gun, there's videos of him having the gun in his hand, playing with it, pointing it, or whatever, while he's clearly high on drugs. So lying on the background check to get your weapon, that's illegal. That's a gun charge right there. Then having your gun, operating it, playing with it, whatever, while you're under the influence of said drugs is also illegal.
Yeah.
So you have a complete criminal right here who is pleading guilty to not 1, not 2, but 3 felonies, and he faces no jail, prison, penitentiary time. Now, he is not being charged with everything that he could be charged with. Remember the laptop? I've seen some of the pictures on the laptop. You don't want to see it. I wish I could unsee it.
I know the teeth. Oh my goodness!
As far as pictures of him and
he's
some
a
of these women, or maybe even underage girls, that could be illegal.
Yeah.
Aside from that, remember the emails? 10 for the big guy. We're not even getting into the
espionage.
We're not even getting into China, Moldova, Ukraine, etc.
Nope.
We're not getting into that. We're not getting into how this man was discharged from the military because he was a crackhead, and then he goes to Ukraine to sit on the border of Burisma Holdings, getting paid $50,000 a month
for nothing.
He has no prior experience.
He was the connection. He was the connection for the big guy, which was Joe Biden. The famous video, Joe Biden does that. But let's just get to this again. I just want to point it out. These are Democrats who say, "Oh, we should take away the guns blah, blah, blah. It's against all this stuff. And then look what happened. You have somebody in the upper echelons who does exactly what they say. We don't. Let's not talk about him. Why are you doing it? You just care about Biden? This is why I don't like heretics. Again, I don't say hypocrisy because hypocrisy means you do something whatever. Heretics are that they potentially always lie. That's what they do. They always do it, and that's what I don't like. That right there is just disgusting in this, and just it's just icky. It's more than icky. Like I said, you say you want all this, you say you want all these problems, and then you say you want all these problems, you say you want this, but then again, if I get hit with those gun charges, my butt is in jail. If I don't pay my taxes, my butt is in jail. But he's the president's son, and he's the president say all that stuff. He don't go to jail. I don't like that. And that's the way it came out with the submarine thing when they do certain things. I don't like it. It's crazy what it is. Yes, everybody makes mistakes, but again, don't make the biggest mistakes. But I know people who make big mistakes like that get away with stuff. I don't like that. Life is not fair. I know that, but again, I can't have like I said, the people who killed my cousin who couldn't find the dude, or my friend who got killed. How I say I know him, but my friend's husband who got killed by evil people, and you know what happened to them? Only then he went to jail. He should have been in jail long time ago. But our vice president at the time let the man go, and then he got out and he killed my friend's husband and 2 kids. And I see stuff like that. I can't just slide like that. I just can't. I don't like that. If you're gonna make rules, follow the rules. Wesley Snipes didn't pay his taxes. He went to jail. Like I said, Fat Joe didn't pay his taxes. They went to jail. There are people who I forgot another person who a black man. I forgot his name. It's not coming to my mind right now. They paid their taxes. It was a mistake. They went back and fixed the tax and paid more, and they still went to jail. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't. You can't. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. That's what I said. I don't care. I only talk about politics because it's that I don't care where you are. I'm a libertarian. I don't care that. But my point of saying what I'm saying is because we got out rules for thee, not for me. That's how they do it. That's how they do this stuff, and I don't like that. That is the crazy part of things. So, again.
Got through quite a bit so far. This is on Washington Post, but of course, there's a lot of articles about what's happening. I'm going to get through some of this just so you can see how the media does, how they want to spin this case. If this was Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump.
We know what would have happened if it was Donald Trump Jr. 1. If it was it was a Republican. 2. It was a black man. Again, I just said to give you famous black men. They went to jail. Or Hispanic because Fat Joe's Puerto Rican. They would have gone to jail. I'm going to kind of skip a little bit, skip to our next topic because, again, I prove my point. Y'all know what it is. Again, it's just ridiculous. But I want to talk about this. So we do have affirmative action that also got passed, and a lot of people didn't want to talk about that. But so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So let me put it this way. I'm going to use MSNBC. We know which side they lean on that thing, but I always use the opposite to prove my point. Because again, that's how I do my shows, and people know that. I want to thank y'all again. Thank y'all for joining again for all over the places. We're up to about 10,000 people. Hey, thank you again. Yes, I've not been doing the show for a while, but I'm back. I wouldn't miss. I was thinking 2 weeks from now, I won't do a show because I'll be out of the state and I ain't gonna do that. But so I'll miss a show. But I affirm you, once I get back, the shows will be coming back, and I will be added on. I'll be adding on new shows. And again, there are gonna be more channels and shows added on to this Project Open Mic. T3 Life is one of them. And then again, I am talking to family members about doing another show and have their perspective. Because again, Project Open Mic is not a political thing. I've tried to tell people that it's not that. It's just talking about culture, what's going on in the world, what's going on around and stuff. I just use topical stuff because it's just easier to talk about certain things. But we're going to be talking about that stuff in a certain way. So but we're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about, like I said, life and everything. That's what we talk about. And you're going to see some stuff. You're going to see some stuff later on about that. So let's talk about this right here, which is the affirmative action ending.
Try and try again. That has been the guiding mantra of the conservative legal movement for decades. Float a case before the Supreme Court, get a couple justices on your side, and then use their opinions as a guide to shock the nation for a case that gives the justices everything needed for them to finally take action. It is a strategy that actually predates the Trump era.
Yeah, both parties use it. Are you shocked? Republicans use it, Democrats use it. Because again, it's funny. The whole thing about the way was again, don't ask, don't tell. Who signed that bill? Bill Clinton. Who stopped that bill? Barack Obama. Democrats. They did it. But anyway.
And this specific court, but became supercharged with this new conservative supermajority. Republicans waited for decades to overturn Roe versus Wade, bringing several unsuccessful.
I have debunked Roe versus Wade. You guys can go back to my past shows to see. Roe versus Wade was a total lie, and I debunked it by showing my. I don't got my receipt sound effect because I'm on my new board yet, but I've debunked that. The lady who was Roe versus Wade, she came on. She said, "Yes, I lied. The guy never did nothing to me. I was the person that did stuff. It was all a lie." And even Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who's a Democratic left-leaning woman, said herself, I played the clip, that this was not the right decision. Even she said that was not the right decision. So I like how they see, people don't know about this, right? Like I said, that because again, they just think Roe versus Wade, it was a lie. It was made up. The woman never got attacked. She just wanted to she was vindictive against somebody to put a person, and it was messed up. And it was also decided by the Supreme Court. It was decided by Texas Supreme Court, not the federal Supreme Court we are. That's why, again, a lot of stuff, even Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that should have never became law. She herself, you go to Project Open Mic on YouTube, and you should go back and you will see it. I played it. But the lady said she said when, because she turned over as a Christian and stuff like that. She's like, I should have never been a plaintiff in that case. I can't believe I was the plaintiff for this horrible thing. She said that, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that. All the way up until her dying death, Ruth Ginsburg said that.
Successful cases before the court until finally succeeding last term with the Dobbs decision. And think about how Christian activists first brought the plight of a Colorado baker who didn't want to bake a gay wedding cake to the court.
Whoa. See, that's why I'm using MSNB. That's a lie again. No, he had no problem baking the cake. He just didn't want to put the stuff on the cake. He said, hey, you go ahead and put the stuff, I'll make the cake. That's what it was. That's what he didn't want. He didn't have no problem baking the cake. He said, I'm going to bake the cake and put on the frosting. You go find somebody else to decorate it. And what happened? And then, of course, as soon as he won that case, here comes a trans person, came and did the same crap and tried to put him back in lawsuit again. That is so dishonest. This is one of the reasons you got to listen to all the sides of the thing. That's why I said using something different from that agrees with me, because, again, that's the messed up about this.
In 2018.
That was a lie.
And used a suggestion from Clarence Thomas that the case should actually have been considered on free speech grounds rather than a religious liberty test. 5 years later, we had the 303 creative versus Ellenist decision, effectively making LGBTQ plus individuals second-class citizens.
Second-class citizens?
What? What the fuck?
Bruh, they got their LGBT is 55% of the American population, but they have so much reach. They have a whole month for themselves. Again, as a Christian person, it's kind of weird that we celebrating Pride. I don't like that. That's a sin. And they have represented in all the TV shows. They always have a gay person gonna be in there, whatever, and they're less than anything. I don't get that. They're not second-class citizens. And what you do in your bedroom, it should be between you and you. I don't care if my neighbor is gay or nothing, and they have the whatever. I ain't care. And most people don't care either. We know that. But we do understand when they start messing with kids, we got a problem with that. That's the problem, which we're going to get to in a little bit.
Now, that same cynical perseverance has now led to the gutting of affirmative action in college admissions. Since Roe was overturned, it is clear this court has no qualms about undoing long-established precedent.
Roe was bad, but anyway,
And
go
believe
ahead.
me, there were mountains of precedent upholding the constitutionality of affirmative action in America, specifically because of the 50-year Republican project aimed at destroying that policy. So let's look at how we got to this point, because this is the playbook conservatives are using for anything they don't like or approve of, even if it takes decades to overturn and see those results. Affirmative action as a term actually entered the public lexicon back in 1935 with the Wagner Act, a federal law that gave workers the right to form and join unions. It was used to describe the process by which an employee would be given their job back if the National Labor Relations Board found they had been fired for union activity. John F. Kennedy was the first president to link the term specifically with policies meant to advance racial equality. And in the years after, the term started to be associated with education, a connection made thanks to the civil rights movement. The assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968 was a turning point. Students demanded their colleges redouble their efforts to have students and student bodies that actually better reflected American society. As the New York Times reports, less than 4 weeks after Dr. King's death, Harvard's dean of admissions at the time, well, he announced a commitment to enrolling a substantially higher number of African Americans. The following year's admitted class included a 76% increase in black students. And you better believe that conservatives immediately began gnashing their teeth. The first Supreme Court case challenging the constitutionality of affirmative action programs in education came just a decade later.
Okay.
In 1978, the Supreme Court heard Regents of the University of California versus Bake. At the time, UC Davis reserved just 16 out of every 100 admission spots for qualified minority students. Alan Bake, a white man, was denied admissions by the university's medical school despite having higher test scores than some minority students admitted that year.
Which, in my opinion, I think that's a stupid thing. Merit is merit. That's me. I know a lot of people don't like that for some weird reason. Again, I got take, let's switch the role. Say a racist white man, and you have Dr. Ben Carson, who's one of the top neurosurgeon. I'll bet you that damn racist white man wouldn't mind letting that niggly bear work on his brain if he got to save his life, because he don't care. I want the best person. I don't care what it. I don't care if you're a transgender or nothing. If you go save my life, or my wife's life, whatever, and you're good at your surgery stuff, and that's all you're good at, I'm good with that. I want best candidates. I don't want incompetent candidates. Because another thing that people, a lot of people never talked about this. You know how much malpractice problems have happened? They kill a lot of people over the years. Malpractice is up there with the flu and everything. But nobody talk about it because they're doctors, and also some of the doctors and lawyers. And funny enough, some of those doctors should have never have passed in the first place. But like I said, see how that works.
And he sued. And ultimately, the Supreme Court decided that the quota system UC Davis used was unconstitutional. But it also ruled that schools did have a, quote, compelling interest in the educational benefits of having a diverse student body, which allowed them.
And I have nothing against that. But let the diversity of the thought and the person get there on the merit. I'm running a company. I don't want anybody running my company. I want people who are qualified to run, who's in my company. Point blank period. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what sex you are. If you show me that you could do the work, that's all I care.
To consider race in the admissions process, so long as it was one of many factors they were considering. Well, conservatives, of course, were outraged and spent decades shopping for the perfect self-described victim of affirmative action to bring future challenges.
Victim?
2003, for example, conservative activists seized upon white people who were denied admissions to the University of Michigan and presented Gratz versus Bollinger and Grutter versus Bollinger before the court. Those decisions narrowed affirmative action policy slightly, making it illegal to use point-based systems with regard to race in college admissions.
And that's why in the high schools now, remember the show I did last week where this black girl who, her black father, black family, her father thought that she was a smart person because she graduated from high school with high honors. Come to find out, she cannot do basic math. She cannot do basic algebra. Stuff that you learn in 9th grade. And then when you go, and I showed it on the screen, I showed you what the schools had to do to graduate. And they, compared to what I had to graduate from high school, that was a joke. So we are making more kids stupider and dumber. We're dropping down. As the father said himself, he said, we're dropping the standards. We're not putting smart, intelligent kids into the world. We're putting stupid kids in the world. And the corporations and the politicians and the tech companies like that because you are a slave to them to do all the stuff that they want. You want a person who don't know the basic math, go to school, take out a $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 loan. Don't even know how the loan works because some of these people don't even read the fine print or whatever. Some of them can't even read this stuff. Took out a loan and they in debt for the rest of their life. Yeah, the banks love it because, hey, we get interest. We're going to get it. We're going to get whatever money. We get you hooked for the rest of your life. Same for the tech companies. Same for the politicians. That's why they want to lower the voting age down to 16. Let's be honest, most of the Democrat side. But yeah, 16 because they don't know what they're talking about. A survey here for the Pew Research literally just said 80% of teenagers would give up their right to vote if they could stay on TikTok.
What?
See how crazy that is. I'll leave it at that.
Yet in the end, the court again reaffirmed the constitutionality of the broader policy. So conservatives tried in 2013 and in 2016 with a white woman named Abigail Fisher who was denied admission to the University of Texas again and again. The court ruled affirmative action was constitutional. Justice Kennedy, writing for the majority at the time, stated that the attainment of a diverse student body serves values beyond race alone, including enhanced classroom dialogue and the lessening of racial isolation and stereotypes.
Excuse me.
Affirmative action was both constitutional and a force for broader societal good that cannot be denied. But conservatives, well, they went back to the drawing board, continued shopping for the perfect plaintiffs, and returned to the court this past term with two cases. Students for Fair Admissions versus President and Fellows of Harvard College, and Students for Fair Admissions versus the University of North Carolina. Mm-hmm. By the way, that group named in both of those cases, Students for Fair Admissions, well, it's a right-wing activist group. Its lawyers argued that admissions programs at Harvard and UNC violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment.
They did.
By discriminating against Asian American applicants and providing favorable treatment to students from other minority backgrounds.
Correct, which is correct.
Finally, John Roberts and his extreme colleagues said enough, deciding to end affirmative action as we know it. So
and I'll stop it there. Okay, so let me get this straight. As you said, remember, we're doing affirmative action for minorities. That's what you're arguing, sir. Okay, okay. Like I said, I don't have my side on Facebook, but you know I got my receipts. Okay? I got my receipts. So let's go to that situation, shall we? This is the minority.
I was shocked and a little bit pissed off for this guy. John Wang is an 18-year-old American student. He has a GPA of 4.65. He scored 1590 on his SAT test. The SAT test is out of 1600. He was 10 points off from getting
A perfect score.
You're a goddamn genius.
This man is an academic scholar, and on top of that, he participates in extracurricular activities. When applying for college, he applied to 6 elite schools, and he was rejected by every last one. So you're probably wondering, but why? Did he fat shame Lizzo on Twitter?
Bruh.
Did he have a hashtag MeToo moment?
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's both. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Did he misgender someone?
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Well, the reason that John Wang was rejected from 6 elite schools that he applied to is because he's not black. Like, I'm kind of joking, but not really. Hello?
You serious?
Returning viewer, and you have not yet subscribed.
Yeah.
Don't be economic, girly man.
Exactly.
I love
Ah, crap. Of course. Like I said, I try to give the people I use their videos, I give them their play, the ad revenue, because again, I'm using their stuff, so I do that. And I can't skip this one until the ads, basically, so whatever. But anyway, like I said, seriously, you're gonna let me not do none of them? Anyway, but yeah.
Student who was rejected from 6 elite
schools,
despite having a 4.65 GPA and a near perfect SAT score. He was rejected from MIT, from Harvard.
That one surprised me. MIT surprised me the most. The Harvard and all that stuff, that makes sense. MIT and that's
Harvard, from Princeton, Carnegie Mellon, UC Berkeley, and Caltech. And he alleges that the reason he was rejected by these 6 schools is because he is Asian. I know growing up, your elders tell you that life's not fair, but like, damn.
Exactly.
Life was like F you and your tiger parents to John Wang. Oh my gosh. The fact that this man could not get accepted into any of those colleges, it's really mind-boggling, especially when you consider that people like this get accepted into college.
It's on the $5 bill.
not George Washington.
Close. Take a guess though.
Janet Jackson.
Correct.
According to John Wang, when he was applying for college, he was actually warned by his guidance counselor that he may have difficulty getting into college because of his race.
Ain't affirmative action should be helping that. He is a minority. He might not be black, but he is a minority. There are less Asians than blacks in America, and they're funny enough they're crawling up to the top because Hispanic passes us because they're illegal and all this stuff. Again, for some weird reason, Black America is still between 13 and 15%. Well, because we're killing each other in mass things, as I just alluded earlier to the show. It's messed up, but hey, okay.
Honestly, I think the real problem here is not that John is Asian. I think the problem is that John is not creative. This is
he's not a liar, but I know you meant
2023, okay? You can be whatever you want to be.
Exactly.
If I were John, I would have identified as a black woman and applied for college. Problem solved. They can't tell you you're not because that's the world that we live in.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're implying.
Are you African American?
Bruh.
I don't understand.
You're not.
He could have pulled a Rachel Dolezal. That's what Rachel did. Okay, look, I'm done. I'm done with
yes, please.
For now. But moving on. John reached out to an organization called Students for Fair Admissions, and he had this to say about the meeting that he had with them.
The bias against Asian applicants is real and wrong, says Students for Fair Admissions, which John learned about through a relative.
I read up on their cause, and I found that it really resonated with me, so I joined the organization as well. I gave them my test scores and a few other things about me, and then they must have ran the model on that and then Edward Bloom told me my results, and so they said I had a 20% chance of gaining admission to Harvard as an Asian American, and then a 95% chance as an
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
African American.
What did I say? Rachel Dolezal.
Just talking with my friends and like guidance counselors, they all told me that it's like tougher to get in, like especially as an Asian American. I just took it as gospel.
That's also the conclusion of the highly respected Princeton Review, a company that provides test prep and college admissions advice for high school students. This is from their book, Cracking College Admissions.
Many Asian Americans have been extraordinarily successful academically, to the point where some colleges now worry that there are too many Asian Americans on their campuses. Being an Asian American can now actually be a distinct disadvantage in the admissions processes at some of the most selective schools in the country.
NANI? So being smart is a problem. And because your culture does what it got to do to get, like I said, mom and dad did the right thing and get to be smart and all that stuff. And again, what he's doing is what I'm going to do to my kids when I think, you know, to my kids. That's a problem. And then again, people, that, as you said, which is true, yeah, you should have been a black, or Native American and all that stuff. I get it, but then that's just lying. And that's kind of messed up. In this culture now, you can say, oh, man could be a woman could be a man, and all this lying crap. That's just not fair.
So what's an Asian applicant to do?
If you're given an option, don't attach a photograph to your application, and don't answer the optional question about your ethnic background. Do not write your application essay about the importance of your family or the positive/negative aspects of living in two cultures.
Oh, Lord.
I have to say that when I found this story, I was actually very shocked. I had no idea that affirmative action had such a negative impact on Asian students, especially when you consider the definition of affirmative action.
Thank you.
Asian students should be the ones benefiting from it. And I was even more shocked to see just how many left-leaning organizations are not even reporting the story. I actually have a premium account with Ground News, and I found this story while scrolling through their website. Ground News is the world's first news comparison.
I'll leave it at that. Ground News is good. You gotta go check it out. I'll let her explain what Ground News is, because I use it myself too.
Platform with a mission of providing its users with a place to not only find trending news stories and underreported news stories, but it is also designed in a way to showcase media bias. Take, for example, this story about John Wang. I actually found this news story through this really cool feature on Ground News' website called Blind Spot. The thing that I love about Blind Spot is that it identifies which stories are being underreported by either left-wing,
or
right-wing, or
center
organizations.
Yeah.
In the case of John Wang, on the right-hand side of the webpage, you can see a visual breakdown of which media organizations are reporting this story, and we can also see that it is being underreported by the left-wing media, while there are 9 right-wing sources that are reporting it. You can also choose specific topics to follow, such as a specific news story, like the Target scandal, a specific person, such as Meghan Markle or Donald Trump, a location, such as Ukraine, or a source such as CNN or Fox News. And if you like what you see and you would like to unlock all of the features that Ground News offers, my link will give 30%.
And I give you that. I wanted her to talk about it. But this is why I said about the affirmative action. And Chris Rock said it himself back in his thing. I get it. Yes, you should not get in. If I'm more qualified, you know how messed up. And then again, the statistic. There's a statistic that comes out, and a lot of a lot of black women who's on the internet and all this stuff. I'm just giving an example because I always say this, and there's a lot of black women always say that they're the more educated in the country, which is sorry, but it's a lie. Asians but if you go by percentage of culture, which is Asians lower, they beat you. And also, if you go by just the total number, not percentage, whites beat it. So it made no difference. But anyway, a point taken away, we say they're most educated, whatever. Again, here's another thing that pops up. Most of those people take classes that does not make sense to financially straighten out. And a lot of those women drop out of school, out of college. Yes, you got admitted into it, but you don't finish it. All those numbers goes against that whole narrative, and nobody wants to talk about that. All right? And I'm a person, I don't see you have to go to college I went to college. Okay, I got my 2 degrees. Good, but if you're not doing STEM or doctor or medicine and all that stuff like that, don't take your butt to college. Do something else. Whatever. I know people who again, I know a family member who's a chef, makes his job do what you gotta do. I know people who are plumbers, AC, who makes 6 figures. Heck, remember I showed you the show about the guy who was a couple of people from the Microworks, where guys and girls, guys and women went and did welding and AC tuning and stuff, and they're making $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year, because it's such a need. Skip the college, go into a trade school if you think that's what it is. I think the way it is, most of my family would tell you, if it was me and I didn't do architecture or I was good with music and stuff like that, I might have been an electrician at the most part, because I'm good with building stuff. I'm building computers. I've wired a lot of stuff in my own house. Or I would have been a mechanic, because I do a lot of work for my own car. Changing my own oil, change my own brakes, fluids, all that stuff. That's what I would have done. And I wouldn't go to school for that at all. Maybe community college, but that's as far as it would have gone. No more than that. But this is why, yes, affirmative action, and there's a loophole in affirmative action as well too, but it's one of those things that I've said before. The attention of the laws is understandable until the people start scapegoating the laws, or in other words, they start messing with the law and then turn it into an evil thing. And that's what I think it is. I'm sorry, but I know people the people who listen to me might not like what I say. Some, not all, I know, because again, people past listen to the show. Right now, we got about 17,639 people in the building. Thank you guys again for joining us from all platforms. So that's where my situation lies to that. All right. So again, because of time, I'm gonna jump to the next topic. Here's another topic I want to talk about quickly: mass shooting, which is, we know how crazy it is, but here's the thing though. Have anybody heard about these mass shootings? Again, these are the same people. We just talk about this. These are people who say, "Oh, we love black people," all that stuff, whatever. But they don't talk about the stuff that hurts us the most. Let's talk about this mass shooting right here.
Went wrong and left 28 people shot and 2 dead, and most of the victims are teenagers. Now, before I get into the video, may those who died rest in peace, and
yes,
to those who are shot, may you get well soon. Prayers out to the families of all those who were involved.
Yes.
Now, I'm just asking questions. Now, before we go any further into it, let's roll the news clip. If you want to see the full clip, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
We're also following another awful story tonight. This one out of Baltimore. An 18-year-old woman, 20-year-old man. Both are now dead. 9 others are in the hospital after at least 30 people were shot. Now, this all happened at a block party, we're told. Baltimore police say all the victims range from 13 to 32 years old. It happened early this morning on Gretna Court, which is 6 miles from Baltimore's Inner Harbor. That's where we find our Melissa Kim tonight.
3 days only. Friday, Saturday.
Again, being helping the people, whatever. But this, like I said, this is a sad thing about this.
Presence here in the Brooklyn neighborhood in South Baltimore more than 12 hours after a mass shooting injured at least 28 people around 12:30 this morning.
And this is local news. Do you heard it in the national news? No. Excuse me. The one that when a guy went up there and killed all those black teenagers in Alabama. Did you heard it on the national news? No. You heard it in local news. And I got a shout out to Good Morning America. They did tackle it a little bit, but swept under the rug.
I'm told by an officer here that the scene is quite extensive. You can see just how big it is behind me. It starts on 6th Street here, goes up 8th Street here behind me over to the right side, and then continues up 6th Street, where I spoke to a neighbor who says she heard the gunshots.
It's like a project area, like a like housing projects.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where you guys may be from. Maybe you're from New York or somewhere like that. But yeah, these definitely look like projects down Baltimore, Virginia, Maryland. I'm not sure how they look in other parts of the country. Y'all let me know in the comments.
Street, where I spoke to a neighbor who says she heard the gunshots. Luz Maria Vasquez was up until the early hours of Sunday morning, studying in her apartment when
I heard somebody start running, but it was a lot, and the people running, crying.
She immediately got away from any windows in her first floor apartment because
I was scared and I prefer don't go out. Because that's a danger, you know.
Baltimore City Police say 2 people were killed and at least 28 others injured during a party on the 800 block of Gretna Court in this Brooklyn neighborhood, an event where there was no police presence because it was an unpermitted event, according to acting Baltimore City Police Commissioner Richard Worley. Meanwhile, Baltimore City Mayor Brandon Scott has strong words for whoever is responsible.
We will not stop until we find you, and we will find you. Until then, I hope with every single breath that you take, that you think about the lives that you took and you think about the lives that you impacted.
As empty glass bottles litter the street alongside half-eaten boxes of food, detectives continue to discover more shell casings in the daylight. Now, the people that you see here behind me, they're part of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, coordinated neighborhood stabilization response in this community. They're focused.
What are they going to do about the situation? You got 28 shot and 2 dead. What are they going to do? How was it? What would their presence add to the situation?
On addressing trauma and any other issues that are happening in the community after this mass shooting. In South Baltimore, Melissa Kim, WUSA 9.
Okay, so that one barely touched the mainstream because, you know, if the shooter was a white person, it'd have been national news. My thing is always, just treat everything equally. Bad shooter, I don't care what color it is. The person who's doing that is an evil person. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if whatever other race you are. Horrible. With that said, let's flip to the other situation.
Today, we got to talk about a mass shooting that happened in Philadelphia over the weekend that took 5 lives and injured 2 more. And I believe 4 of those who died were adult males. There was one 15-year-old boy who died, and then I think there were 2 babies or toddlers who were injured. Now, before I right here, this is 40-year-old Kim Brady Carricker. Now, this appears to be a regular adult male, but not so fast. This is also Kim Brady Carricker right here. That's the same person dressed up. You see, this person is a cross-dresser. I don't see any evidence that this guy...
Motherfucker. That don't even make no goddamn sense.
Identified as transgender. But clearly, you got somebody in the LGBT community that likes to dress up as a woman. You know, back in the day, this whole transgender thing wasn't really a thing. You would have guys that would get dressed up. This is probably a streetwalker. He probably gets dressed up like that to go out in Philadelphia and walk the streets, pick up customers. That's probably what's going on, but I could be wrong. Either way it goes, this is the guy who shot and killed 5 people and I believe injured 2 more who were very young children. Now, box, if you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tuesday night, I'm Shari Williams. Gray Hall is off tonight. The big story on Action News is the latest developments on the mass shooting in Philadelphia's King Sessing neighborhood. As the investigation into this senseless tragedy continues, we are beginning to learn more about those who were killed. Action News reporter Bob Brooks live for us now at police headquarters with what we know this evening. Bob.
Shari, 5 killed. They were all males and they had friends, family. I can tell you, people who love them dearly. And tonight we spoke with the mother of a victim. She wants no time to be wasted in getting justice from this killer.
Hi, it's Will from Booker Law.
Oh, good Lord. I'm trying to be a nice person to certain people, I swear. YouTube. Jeez.
Names of the 5 victims. They range in ages from 15 to 59, all males. One of them is 22-year-old Lashad Merritt. We spoke with his mother, Marie, today, who says he was her baby, the youngest of 5.
The youngest, the brightest. He was good. He was a good kid. He was.
and I'm going to miss him so much.
Sources tell Action News the alleged killer is 40-year-old Kim Brady Carricker. It's believed this security video shows part of the beginning of the rampage.
Oh,
The shooter
jeez.
firing at an SUV with a rifle at the corner of 56th Street and Chester Avenue. At a news update today, Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner said he hopes Carricker will spend the rest of their life in prison.
But I can tell you this.
Holy Jesus. Holy Jesus.
I hope so.
What is that?
I hope he spent his time in the rest of his life, just like I talked about my friend, my classmate, a guy who was arrested on first-degree murder and let out and went and killed and was ready to do mass shooting again in the Virgin Islands. How crazy is this? Look, these people are mentally disturbed. Lock them the hell up. If you commit a crime, there's big mistakes. Again, you could do small mistakes, but a big mistake of killing innocent people, nah, throw away the key. Throw away the key. Put them away forever.
The man who did this is in custody. The man who did this will be facing multiple counts of murder.
Let's pause for a minute. Did you hear that? The rest of their life. Why are we doing the whole pronoun thing? Do we even know what this guy's pronouns are? Does it even matter in a situation like this?
No.
This guy done killed 5 people on camera. We know it's him. He did it. He killed 5 people and injured 2 babies that were sitting in the back of their mom's car. Babies. One of the babies had glass, shards, some glass in their eyes. Why are we talking about pronouns at a time like this? But let's continue.
And will also be facing multiple counts of aggravated assault as a first-degree felony, weapons charges, among others.
The attack began around 8:20 last night. The scene encompasses a whole city block. Detectives say the suspect moved on foot shooting until responding officers cornered Carricker in the 1600 block of Fraser Street and made the arrest.
Again, I commend these officers for their unwavering bravery. Their swift actions undoubtedly saved additional lives.
Detectives also believe this was all planned out. Carricker was armed with a rifle, a handgun, bulletproof vest, and a scanner. However, they say it appears the victims were shot at random. Despite what investigators may uncover as a motive, Marie Mary just doesn't understand what could compel someone to do this.
Some maniac.
Evil. That's what it would be. Evil. He was a...
You piece of loser.
That's what.
Walking around, just shooting. For what? We probably would never know why. You know, but you took my son. You took my baby.
But as a result, she says, they'll have to face justice.
You need a rot. You need a rot in jail. You know?
Yeah.
You need to. Because that was wrong.
Exactly.
Okay, Shari, I know everyone is anxious for the next steps in the judicial process for this. Carricker's arraignment is tomorrow. That's when formal charges will be announced. The district attorney expects they will not get bail.
They shouldn't get bail for what that person did. And again, they ain't talking about the whole female situation. He's a dude who did this, transgender, or cross-dresser, did this. That's a mentally disturbed person, as you said, just randomly went around just killing people. These people who were doing this is one of the reasons I am against messing with young kids and putting it into the situation that they are right now. Why? Because changing their gender or whatever does not fix the mental situation they're going on. I applaud people out there who have these things to go and seek help. Seek help. I really do. Before you go and do a big mistake like this and do not only affect you, but affect other people for no apparent reason. This is disgusting and this is a horrible situation. It really is. And again, because of what it is, nobody want to talk about it or touch this on a national level. They talk about the local news, always gets it. And that's why I'm a fan of local news. ABC, NBC, Fox, whatever. The local news, I don't care what affiliate it is, you see more of them doing that. Now, when they go into politics, that's a different story. But when I talk about this stuff like here, I am basically mostly unbiased. Because again, there's no such thing as unbiased. There really isn't. Everybody growing their biases once you get certain experiences in life, you cannot be unbiased. But objective. This is where I go. As you see, I've used ABC, NBC, MSN. You see, I use and you see what I do. I use different stories. That's how I do my shows. I use all the different places. You see, I've used MSNB, CNN, ABC, and Fox. But anyway, that's a situation that is bad. My heart goes. I hope those little babies can survive and go further. And my heart goes out to you, young lady, man, for losing your son in this most tragic way, dude. And that's what he said. Look at it. He went out and killed males. That person was mentally disturbed and needed to seek help. And that's why I do not like how we're going to mess with people when they're under 18. If you're 18 and above and you want to be a woman or man and all the other stuff, whatever, go at it. You got my respects, you got my free will, do that, but leave the thing alone. This is why it gets back now into my state of North Carolina that I live in because of this. North Carolina Democratic governor vetoes 3 bills targeting LGBT youth. These are the bills that, and again, hopefully, like I said, I'm sorry. I know people, and I have family members in the thing. I'm sorry if whatever. I don't want this. I do not. Because the bills was not crazy. Let's read what the bills he rejected on Wednesday. The bills that he rejected on Wednesday include a ban on gender affirming care for minors. If you're over 18, go do it. Also, if you're over 18, you do it with your own money, not with taxpayers' money as well, too. Because again, even if we do it, you can see as I did a story right there, they still are mentally disturbed and they would do reputable harm to the society. I don't like that. And it hurts them too, because again, that guy is going to be in jail forever. Should be forever in jail. But that is that right there. And the thing that's killing me that I don't like about this, and again, I myself being a libertarian, I don't like a lot of laws, a lot of law, but these should be common sense thing. As mostly a friend of the show, Triple M would always say, know that I've been saying since he's met me, which is about 10 years now. He knows I was like, it's what do you call it? Oh yeah. Simple sense. This should be simple sense. This should not be nothing about nothing crazy. This should be simple sense. Simple sense things. But let's get back into the story, because this is ridiculous. So, gender affirming care for minors. Restrict on how gender identity should be discussed in schools and measure. Again, I don't want you teaching this stuff. Let the parents do it if that's their parents. That's the parents' rights. 1 and 2. I'd rather you teach ABCs 1 through 3 because again, we find out, as I just pointed out a while ago, kids are getting stupider, and the corporations and the politicians love that. But I don't. I don't want stupid kids. I want smart kids. A lot of the kids are not smart. Sorry, it just is. We keep on dropping the scores for everybody, from the blacks to the high, even to the Asians, but we're dropping it down, which is crazy. I've done multiple stories of what they take the lowest denominator and then make it even worse. Remember I showed you schools where they say you can get an F, 20%, and still pass high school. That kid don't know S from Shinola, and you would tell him you would send him out in the world, and he will be eaten alive, or she, as I again showed with the last shows I did. And again, the last one from the last bill, which is transgender athletes from competing on girl sports teams. State law passed legislature last month, largely, along party lines, of course. Yes. It's again, these are the same people. Fight for women. Women are this. Women are glory. Okay. But we should let men who pretend to be women go in there and take your scholarship, take your trophies, beat your records, because women ain't important. I showed a story a while back before I had my hiatus of this, we should let anybody go wherever. Okay, so this man who transgendered to a woman went into this competition and beat the girl. A regular looking dude beat the girls by lift weight by 100 pounds. So you know what another dude did? He didn't do the makeup, he didn't do all that stuff. He said, I'm a woman, went in there and beat that person's record, and of course that person was angry and just messed up, but beat that person's record by 400 pounds. So he beat the strongest woman in the competition by 100 pounds, and another guy who's a regular guy who's a lifter or whatever went in there and beat his record by 400 pounds. And that person was pissed that happened and said, "Oh, it's so unfair that I let that man in." Sir, you are a man too. And again, I'll say this again, I would not misgender no woman or man or whatever. If you look the part, that's the whole point. If you're going to be a Decepticon, be a Decepticon or whatever. If me and my wife was watching a TV show for HVTV, and they were doing this for a guy who transitioned to a woman. And you know what? He went all the way, and I would say she. We literally would say, "Oh, look what they're doing for her. That's good for her, blah, blah, blah." Because he looked the part. He did the affirming. That's what he wanted to do. Now he's a she. I'll call her by name. If I see her walking down the road, I will call her. Blair White is a dude who's a woman. But if I see her on the street, I would never say her. I would never say him and all that. I would say, not her. I would never say him. I would say her because Blair White looks like a white woman. I would never think of her saying whatever because that's what it is. Stop the pretending, okay? But again, do that when you're 18 over. Let the kids get stuff, learn about the world to a degree, not this nonsense crap that we having, and get to the school. That's all it is. 18 over, teach them the stuff, let them go. Again, in my opinion, economic 101 should be a requirement of every high school. Economic 101. Civil liberties should be also that, as River Suave put in a video, which I'll show you. I'll do in that one another time. Hopefully, I will get my wife to be a part of that. But this is crazy. This is crazy. This is our governor. And this is the same white man who says black people can't do this without, can't get to no higher office because white people hold them back. While he has a black lieutenant governor. And he said that while the lieutenant governor was behind him. The disrespect of this.
You piece of loser.
I'm telling you. Tell you right now, he didn't get my vote last time. He ain't gonna get my vote next time. I don't even think he might be voted out. I don't know if he can't go return, but whatever. Just like the guy up in what was it again? In Virginia. The last governor, the one that's right now, the one who said, "Oh, and remember, I played the clip multiple times. Remember, he said, "Oh, we're gonna have the mother, not the father, the mother." He said mother. We're gonna have the mother have the child, birth the child. Well, there are women out there. Even there's a woman in my church, a guy who basically had a miscarriage, and I feel for him. And many women go through this. Real women go through this, and I feel sorry for y'all if you're trying to have a family. And I hope that doesn't happen to my family, but it happens. But they were saying that governor from the former governor of Virginia said, birth the child. See if the child is okay. Even if the child have problems, resuscitate the child, make sure it's comfortable, and then kill the baby. I was like, wait a minute. Let me get this straight, sir. Let me make sure I got this right. Even if the child has problems, you're gonna resuscitate it. You're gonna have the child, and then you're gonna decide. You're gonna let the mother decide to keep it alive or kill it.
What the fuck?
It's an evil world we live in. It's an evil world we live in. And that's why I said what I said. So this is happening in my own state. This is happening in our own state. And again, you see, I'm using CNN. Like I said, I use multiple places to do my reporting. I don't just stick to one side like Fox or just CNN. I use multiple states because, again, I'm proving my point. All right? Well, one more thing before we go, and it kind of proves my point too. To young men, young men, come here. Men, young men and men, I gotta come. You need to step up to the table. Uncle Chick is gonna give you advice for the rest of your life. Okay, I'm gonna give you advice. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna give you advice for your life. Okay. All right. Listen carefully. You can't see it right now, but I'll point it out. I'll see it right now. Where my eyes is looking at right now, I have a lovely picture of my wife on wedding day. It's a real, it's a painting, like a big size. That's like 20 by something, 20 by maybe 28 by 20, something like that. Like a big thing on this kind of that I not only adore, I love my wife. I am happy she's the woman that God sent to me, because past transgressions, and I'll leave it at that, with certain women just make me whatever, but she knows I like her for her natural beauty. You've seen her on the show with me. I love my wife for her natural beauty. I don't, again, don't take it somewhere, but like I said, she's right now is locking her hair up because she wants to keep it. She wanted to lock and lock. That's all good with me. I have no problem with that. And going, as we talked about all the trans stuff and all this craziness that we're talking about now and everything, we're going. I'm gonna show you something that I think is like just like I said, it's an evil world we live in. I'm going to show you something. So young men, again, I've said this multiple times. First, have penis discipline. All right? Stop jumping bones for stuff. Because there's a lot of men out there say, oh, women got it this and this and this. But you're the same kind of guys. If you go to the YouTube sector, if for people on the YouTube, you go to the YouTube sector, you have something called a red pill or whatever. And they always been proven. Those guys, you see those videos where they dogging women and doing stuff like that. These women doing horrible things. And these women are horrible women. Some of these women are. But these guys would say in the comment section, oh, this is horrible, blah, blah, blah. But then they will go to those women's OnlyFans video and give them money and stuff like that. Which to me, pauses the crap out of me in the world of technology we have. I get it. As a Christian, I should not advocate this or whatever and doing stuff. I get it, but I'm just being a real person. That's just who I am. I am not paying no woman. You young guys who kill me, who go and pay women to see a woman, you gonna pay $29.95 to glare over a female. Oh, apologize over the light situation. Should be. I apologize for that. Didn't think you'd have died out. I think my battery is just dying out a little quicker than it is, which kind of sucks. But I'll finish it like this because you should be able to still see me. And I basically have not had my camera. I didn't have my camera set up the way I wanted to, which would be better. But point taken. All right. So these are in no way I could pay $25.95 for something when, again, as a famous person, but as a famous person on YouTube, when the hub is free, you can find free stuff, and you're gonna go and pay a woman. No, I'm not. I can't do that. That's crazy in my opinion. In my setup, that's stupid. Okay, that's one. Two. Be careful. Women, there are women who are saying, oh, you got to take me on this fancy date and all this stuff like that. I took my wife on, she would always say it's a first date, but I know she was a woman, of course, and all this stuff. There's the thing, though. And they go, like I said, I'm going to get back to what I want to say. I'm going to show you this on the screen. You'll see. I wanted to make sure who she was is who she was. So if you guys are going to date a woman, and you say, hey, let's get to a coffee date. Let's go to something simple before you spend any crazy money. If you're going to do that, right, you need to make sure the person who you say it is. Sadly, on a different note, there was a guy up in, and he got off. Funny enough, he did get off. He did get off from the case. It was this white dude who pretended to be a female. And again, this is where, I'm transgender people. Sorry, I'm going to tell you the truth on this. And I don't want nobody to die. Stop pretending and messing with people's feelings, including that. I do not condone nobody killing nobody. YouTube, because for some reason YouTube he's been hitting me with a couple strikes now for the dumbest of things. And I don't control no violence to nobody. Nobody should get hurt. Nobody should get killed. All right? Here's the thing that I'm trying to state. That guy pretended to be a girl with this dude. He was a basketball. And again, this goes into what I'm just saying right here. Sorry for the whole diatribe, but it goes into what I'm saying right now. This dude pretended to be a woman. And he was a football player. And if he had penis control, he would or whatever. But he wasn't. So he went and he tried to have sex with this person. Come to find out, this woman was a dude. And sadly, he killed that person because the emotions got crazy in the dishonesty. Stop doing that. You want to be a man or be a woman? No problem. You want to be like I said, the two things you should do: one, leave kids alone; one, and two, if you're gonna get intimate with somebody, tell them who you are up front. Let them make the decision. Don't be deceptive like that. You want to fool me because I'm married. I don't care. Oh, if you're a beautiful woman come to me, say, oh, you won't fool me because I have control and I'm married and I'm respectful and all that stuff. Then what happened? But don't do that to people who have the potential to do that, man. That is so unfair and it just doesn't help the situation. Okay? It doesn't. But guys, young men, again, if you're going to date a woman, first, go on a simple date. Go on a simple date with them before you spend crazy amount of money or whatever. If they do not want to do that, hey, bye-bye. See you. Hit the streets. I don't care. Don't, and they're gonna say, oh, you ain't got that money. You broke. You blah 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 blah. Take it on the chin and move away. I've been called so many stuff from racist people, from women. I'm like, you think you hurt me? You think you hurt my feelings? Because I know I'm right? Nah, bruh. Nah. Sorry, girl. Go and do your thing. I'm not that guy. All right? I'm not that guy. If they come and tell you, hey, yo, you're a weak man. You can't handle all this. You can't do all, and women have tried out in the past with me. You can't handle all this. You this and this and that. You know what everybody's response really is? I just laugh at them. That's what I do. That's what I do when they come and tell me and try to do that. I don't take them serious. I don't take them serious at all. Okay? I don't take them serious at all. That is basically your red flag. You're wanting to know that this woman is using you, whatever, and all that stuff, young man. I'll say that. Again, okay? And I'll say this to the ladies. Stop messing with the Pookies and Ray Rays and the Chads and Tyrones. Just stop. But anyway. Hey, but this is what a guy cannot do, so I'm going to show it to you right now. This is evil as hell. Evil, evil, evil. Okay? And that's just why again, guys, just because I look good on the camera, just because I look good on the YouTube and all that other stuff, do not fall for it. Do not give them money. Do not do nothing. You stay by yourself, okay? Don't spend money on stuff. Let me show you this evil thing right here, okay? 1 second, because this, to me, is crazy. This is crazy. Okay? Watch this. You see what's on the screen, right? This is the magic what AI and all this stuff is doing. You go to your first date. Watch this. Just because of a copyright strike, let me take that because he's playing some music. This is what the camera does. You see that?
What is that?
You see that?
Holy Jesus. What is that? What is that?
You see that? It went from that. Let's reverse it. That to that. Yeah, I need to see you first in real life before I go on and pay any money on anything. Because that is messed up. That is what these cameras are doing now. These filters. That.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Exactly. Okay? Okay? WTF. WTF. Whoo! So, that's my warning to you guys, okay? With that said, thank you out there for giving me your time, your mind, your eyes, your ears about what we talk about tonight. I see in the comment section a lot of people is like, what the hell? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So guys, have penis control, and any woman that you're about to date, because everybody use online, you meet them first before you spend a red cent on any of these women to make sure that's what they're in real life. Okay? That is devil. That was the devil right there. Okay, and with that said as well too, again, I understand for actually for people. I am and will to there that be merit based. I want competent people around me. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what sex you are. You could be a transgender, and you could be you could be a transgender. You could be a miracle worker on the brain, like Dr. Carlson. If you're good at that, you're good at that. That's it. I don't care. I want the best that is to do what I need him to do if I need him to do something. Okay? My mama has a problem right now and she's sick, whatever, and there's a transgender person or there's a Asian person or a black person and they're the best qualified to do what they did. Yeah, I don't care. Just like the doctor who saved my life when I was young, Dr. Thomas was a female doctor, a black female doctor. Well, my mom went to other male doctors and stuff and they couldn't help. She saved my life, finding the right thing to cure my sickness when I was young. So that's why I said, I don't care. I want the best of the best. My mom and my aunt went to multiple doctors and they told them, oh, leave me in the hospital, I'm gonna die. This lady, my mom sacrificed a lot to get to St. Thomas and found this doctor, and she saved my life. So that's the point I'm saying. Merit based is what I care about. Knowledge is what it is. Alright? That's my situation. So I want, if we gotta get together, keep the family in contact, and then make sure the kids are learning the best they can out there. And I'll tell you, from the stories I've been doing in the last couple of months, parents, you will have to do extracurricular work to make sure that your kids are not, they might not be falling behind in schools, in public schools, because the public schools are lowering down the standards, but you might need to do extra stuff to make sure they're smart. Me and my wife were talking about, and I've said this on the show multiple times, the Encyclopedia Britannica, before we got all this editing crap on Wikipedia and all this stuff. I wish I had saved my Encyclopedia Britannica because I was an inquisitive child when I was young. So that's where it is. So get parents, be in your kids' life. Make sure you look at extra activities. Make sure they know what they're doing before they graduate and understand it. And again, college is not the way to go. You can do other things and make 6 figures easy. With that said, remember out there, people. Right? All right. Evil comes in all shapes, size, color, creed, height, sex, gender, location. Evil is evil. And of course, if the people out there, people are stupid, individuals smart. Be that smart individual. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors, take care of your community. You have the power to do stuff, so do it. Thank you guys out there for joining us again for Positive Open Mic. Remember, catch us out next Thursday at 8 to 9 p.m. starting time. I still have not locked down where I should start at, but again, hopefully that. And yes, I will start up the Straight No Chasers daily again, so you guys can see daily videos early in the morning. With that said, have a good night, have a blessed day. We'll catch you next time. Peace out. Take care of yourself. Catch you in the next flip.